For the last 5 years, the government has managed to promote skills development as a means of encouraging self-employment as opposed to job seeking. Now, appreciative of the benefits this development holds for Uganda's future, a number of non-governmental organizations jumped on board to supplement government efforts. However, operational costs coupled with absence of minimum wage has continued to undermine such lucrative ideas as graduates of these institutions find self-employment and no-go zone, yet feel exploited by their employers. Our reporter Chimono Dokas gives us more.
For over 20 years, government has been working tooth and nail to implement a number of reforms in the education sector, thereby allowing many youth access basic education. And recently, government moved to revive technical vocational education and training, TVET system, with an aim of equipping the youth with necessary skills required by the labor market. A few have made to the top, mainly due to economic reasons, thus the development of privately owned technical institutions that help bridge the gap. Located in Katoke, Naweru, Wakiso district, Hope Institute is one of the few vocational training centers that has not only paved the way for numerous youth, but also revived hope for many who once thought it was over. Canon Gideon Byamugisha is the founder of FOCAGIFO, Hope Institute, that among others trains and equips vulnerable youth with vocational skills.
You see, there is something happening in Uganda and Africa which we need to tackle. That the people who need practical, skilled education most are the ones who can least afford it. They need the education, they need the skilling, they need the empowerment. Yet, when you say bring 300,000, that's the same person who doesn't have the money.
Since inception in 2003, operating on a 60 to 40% tuition fee sharing model, the Institute has touched lives of over 3,000 vulnerable young people by nature.
We started with a model of educating, paying fees to students, but in various colleges where they wanted to go for studying. But we found there were challenges there. Sometimes you have paid your 60% in that college, and that institute, the person has failed to raise the 40 centenary fee. And they were only focusing on skills, vocational skills. But for us, we wanted a person to be empowered holistically.
Godfrey Odong is a chef by profession, a status he acquired 2 years ago after attending vocational training from Hope Institute in 2016. Odong narrates circumstances that befell him before he landed himself an opportunity to study for a profession he so much dreamed of.
I didn't manage to finish O-level due to financial problems. I started looking for other things to do.
After dropping out of school, Odong did all sorts of work in the informal sector, from being a porter at construction sites to providing security services at Kigumba Health Center in Kiriandongo district. However, it would not be long when Odong landed himself in the hands of what he describes as a good Samaritan who showed him a way to the capital city, Kampala, working as a shamba boy.
There was a lady who was seeing how much I was doing, so she talked to me. She requested me to come and help her brother in Kampala here.
Looking after pets required him to care for 12 pigs, about 15 goats, and over 1,000 birds on a daily basis for a pay barely 80,000 shillings per month.
In the morning, you have to go to the garden, you do something in the garden. Coming back from the garden, you have to look for you have to clean the piggery, you get for them feeds, you feed the chickens, you take the goats for grazing. So I had very little time from there to rest.
Soon he would be contacted to render security services at a guest house in Wakiso, and this set Odong's ball rolling. His new boss was friends with Canon Gideon Byamugisha, the founder of Hope Institute, a subsidiary of Friends of Canon Gideon Foundation, FOCAGIFO. But the question that comes in is how he was going to balance books with work, studying at the same time continue rendering security services at a guest house, a source of his livelihood.
But since I was much interested in the course, because they have accepted me to go and do my daytime lessons, so I had to begin the battle. I studied for a term. In the second term, I squeezed some money. I bought a bicycle. I started riding. Life became easier.
With Odongo's enthusiasm and well-demonstrated love for his studies, Hope Institute Management awarded him a full academic year scholarship. Sometime while at Grand Imperial Hotel in Kampala, Odong is remembered to have performed so well to be excused. Kennedy Malanga Shitanda is executive chef but also Odongo's immediate supervisor at Grand Imperial Hotel.
You know, in the kitchen we look at, first of all, interest. Do you have the interest to work in the kitchen? Do you have the passion? And I observed that in him, and we gave him a chance, and we have brought him up from scratch. And now he's going to be one of our senior employees soon, because he has grown. He has grown from butchery. Now he's covering all sections in the kitchen.
It is at this point that Odong reveals what has kept him way above his colleagues. He has managed to remain afloat.
It just depends on how you want your future to be. So you put laziness, that means you are narrowing your future. I need at least a brighter future. Being able to take care of my family, paying school fees, taking care of my relatives, living a happy life is my expectation.
He also confesses his unwavering love for food. Odong actually derives satisfaction in seeing all his food is consumed. Even as he delights in his workplace and remains forever grateful for the job opportunity at one of the Imperial Group of Companies hotels, Odong's urge to start up a personal mini restaurant is still alive.
I also want to become like these people of the Chilis. You talk of the food hubs, you talk of the Javas, the Java houses, the Cafe Javas. I would be grateful having a restaurant of that kind. And that is the target.
Alitho Gravis is a professional instructor at Hope Institute with a working experience of over 8 years in hotel industry. Like Odong, Gravis has always dreamt of being self-employed. Unfortunately, this has forever remained in his dreams.
First of all, the payment, the mode of payment. You do a lot of work, and then in the long run you receive little. Then I resulted, at least, instead of being exploited a lot there, then we come and give back to the students, those who are still young in the field.
Cognizant of the fact that some of their graduates end up into the labor market after their failure to become self-employed, Ruth Imbalinda, the principal Hope Institute, advises government to invent more projects and loan schemes that can rescue but also boost the sector.
We could look if we could use the entry point, the institutions as our entry point for these funds. You say, for instance, institutions so and so, identify for us groups of students who have gone through your school and have accumulated experience of doing this. They are only lacking capital, then we come in. That would really solve the whole jinx around self-employment, because you would be sure they have the required skills.
And as Uganda joins the rest of the world to commemorate International Labour Day in Agago district, the call by key sector players is for the president to assent to the minimum wage bill that was passed by Parliament early this year.
Once the minimum wage thing comes into existence, like other countries, like in Kenya, there's a minimum wage. There you cannot cheat a staff.
Dorcas Kimono and Sudat Kaye, UBC TV News.
Dorcas and Kaye, thank you so much. And of course, what is being highlighted, of course, is a startup capital that is still a big problem in as far as people who want to venture into self-employment is concerned.